You are not lazy. You're just addicted to the wrong things. That is why you can scroll Instagram for 2 hours straight, but the moment you sit down to study, maybe the next 20 minutes you feel like, this is so difficult. I'm not able to study. I should do something else. Now, while I usually make videos for CAT aspirants, MBA aspirants looking to crack CAT, this video is for everybody. Even if you're appearing for CAT or any other exam, or you're already a college student who's trying to learn a skill or get a job, this is going to propel you ahead. Because just when you thought that this video is about studying or cracking CAT, the fact is it's not. It's about rewiring your brain to enjoy the things which it should ideally enjoy for you to grow faster in your career. Your dopamine is pointed in the wrong direction, and this video is going to get that back. I am Darpan Saxena, an MBA graduate from Udaipur. I have been the MBA Product Head at Career Launcher. I'm the founder of Creatum, where I help MBA students create fulfilling careers without depending on placements. Now, whatever I'll be talking to, I've spent the last so many years going through all of these great books about mind management, deep work, focus, and all of those things. And whatever I'm talking to you comes from me reading these books over and over again and helping my students in my CAT mentorship program, where I meet them each week and I help them train for CAT in a better way so that they can reach their goals in just one attempt. Now, here's the first thing. You need to understand what dopamine is. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in your body. It is responsible for all the pleasure, focus, pain, and all of these feelings which help you focus on something and do more of an activity. That's a very broad understanding of what it is, but as we talk more about it, you'll actually understand the use case of it in how it helps you or prevents you from studying. Now, most students think that it's the willpower or motivation that makes you study, but the fact that it's not, it is dopamine, and whatever the dopamine is making you do for whatever rewards your body seeks. Understand it like this. If scrolling through Instagram gives you dopamine, it will want to do more of it. If scrolling through TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever app you use, if it gives you dopamine, it will want to do more of it. Which also means that dopamine effectively runs on what will make you feel good, what will make you feel pleasured in the moment. It does not care about your future goals. It does not care whether you want to get into IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta. And that is why I'll study from tomorrow. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and I'll study all through the day for 10 hours, 8 hours. None of that works because your dopamine, your basic biology is not wired to make you grow in your career. But the question is, can it be solved? Can it be solved today so that you know what you need to do? The answer is yes. So instead of calling yourself lazy, maybe stupid, and not good enough to crack any exam, you need to understand how exactly dopamine is creating problems for you during your day. Let's go to my screen. Now, here's what a very messed up day in your life looks like. The x-axis shows you the timeline from morning to night, and the y-axis shows you the dopamine levels. Now, what happens is that as soon as you wake up, if the first thing which you grab is your phone, which you do, I know that, then you suddenly get a dopamine spike, and this dopamine spike sets the mood for the entire day. It messes it up. That is how important that first hour and that first activity of picking your phone is. Now, it sets an expectation of a very high dopamine level all through the day. So you probably scroll through the phone, scroll through the reels for some time, and the moment you leave it, your dopamine drops. Now, even if at this point of time you realize that, okay, I have to study, and you start to study because your dopamine is so low, your mood is so low, your pleasure sensation is so low, study is not giving you that sensation, and now your body is again craving this high dopamine level which it has just been exposed to. So it is now searching for what can give it that dopamine level, and it remembers that the most recent thing which you did was scrolling through Instagram. So right there in front of you is your phone, and you grab it again, and then you again start scrolling for it to get this second dopamine spike. And these points are where your body, your mind is actually fully engaged. It is enjoying, and there is no need for it to come back to this point again and try to study or to exercise or to do something more meaningful like read, because even if you try to read in this point of time, what will happen is that you will read 5 lines, and by the 6th line you will not remember what was the first 5 lines which you read. Doesn't it happen with you often? That is because your dopamine is operating at very low because it has been exposed to some junk which gives it high dopamine, and this just progresses all through. You know what? It is not just that Instagram and YouTube will give you dopamine. No, it could be some junk food, because again, what happens, and I'll give you this example so that you completely understand this concept. Now, there is this tasty food which you've been craving. Now, that craving is the anticipation. That is where this dopamine is going up, and the moment you get that pizza or pasta or something unhealthy which is tasty, your mind gets a party of its own, and the dopamine rises and it remains high, and then again your body craves that. So the idea is simple, that we have to move away from a structure of a day that looks like this. So what is going to be that structure which is going to help you study really well? Well, I'm going to show that to you. The concept is called dopamine loading. It means that right from the morning, you give your brain activities which loads the dopamine really slowly, and then it progresses you to a very good mood for you to sit back and study. And then that studying, the process of solving the questions, the anticipation of whether you will be able to solve that question or not, and when you're actually able to solve that question, that gives you the right dopamine hit, which will actually want you to solve more questions, more difficult questions, maybe, or different kind of questions, which will progress you towards the career that you want to get. Here is what an ideal day which you should be aiming for would look like. When you start your day by not having a phone in your hand, it completely erases off that dopamine spike, because in the morning there is nothing else which is going to take you to that dopamine level which is there. Now you let your dopamine rise slowly and you feed it with the spikes which you need to feed it with, which will propel you towards a good career. For example, you could pick a book which you've been planning to read. Your mind is fresh, the slate is clean, and it will not even get any resistance of that kind that, hey, should I read this book or not? Hey, I'm bored, I'm tired. No, you could read through 5 pages, 10 pages, maybe even 2 pages to start with, and it will give you a good dopamine spike. Why? Because your brain will remember that, hey, this is a good activity to do. I felt good. I learned something new. That is good. That's your first dopamine spike. Or probably you will move more towards it and you will maybe solve a question which you've been stuck at, and you'll try to solve it, and maybe you will be able to solve it. Or maybe not even that. You could just sit down, journal something, think about what is your ideal day, remind yourself about your goals, and that remembrance and that visualization of what you want to do in your life will also give you a dopamine spike. Maybe you'll go out and have a walk and work out and lift weights or do something, and then even if you're not willing to do it, your brain will actually reward you because it actually feels great after you've worked out, and that is your third dopamine spike. Up till now, it has not been exposed to something crazy. You're gradually making it grow in your mind, and then suddenly when you're studying and you're actually doing something which is meaningful, because now you're programming your day to move towards something that is good, your studying will be more exciting, more enjoyable, because it is not at a poor dopamine level in which you're neither in a good mood, you're frustrated, irritated, your brain is looking for something which has been very recently exposed to. No, even if it is recently exposed to something, it is maybe a good walk, a good book, journaling, remembering about what goals you have, and that is going to set the foundation of a great career ahead. The fact is, getting addicted is a scientific process. I've been struggling with this for so many times. The moment I decided to quit my job a few years back, suddenly I realized that, hey, the entire day is for me to make it whatever I want to make out of. And then in that very moment, I realized that, okay, I am horrible, that when I don't have a manager to tell me what I'm supposed to do, I'm really horrible at planning my day. I'm really horrible at getting the output from it. And because now I don't have to get to office or anywhere, I can just pick my phone all through the morning. For the next 2 hours, I could be scrolling Instagram, watching YouTube. It's just that it would be a dull day. And then by the end of the day, I would realize that, hey, I've not done anything. I am irritated and all of those things, which is why I picked all of those books, which is why I learned through this. And now over the last 6, 7, 8 years, I've been mentoring my students for CAT prep, wherein in my premium mentorship program, I talk to CAT students every week. So if you enroll for that, then you'll be talking to me each week, and we'll be setting your study plan, whatever you need to study for that particular week. The next week we meet, I will be holding you accountable for whether you studied or not. It is going to be a very gentle process, but it's going to gradually propel you towards that. It's not just a CAT prep mentorship program. It's also a lifestyle, a life-changing program, because it helps you become a better individual, a much better manager of time. And we can talk about a lot of things which will actually help you focus more on the things which are important and remove all the distractions that are there. The bottom line of this video, my dear friends, is that you should aim for a day that looks like this, and that is going to start a virtuous loop of you wanting to study more and more and doing the activities that you want to do, and that is going to get you addicted to studying. If you watched this video till now, I'm sure that you've loved it. Please do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Why? Because I'll be bringing out more such content which helps you actually rewire your brain, do well in your exams, in your career, and maybe get a job without depending on placements. Do not forget to also join my free Telegram group and check out my paid premium mentorship program for CAT. Thanks a lot and goodbye.